How's it going, everyone? You are watching THTeaches. My name is Chef Torrian Ferguson, and today we are about to put together a full meal of New York strip, rice pilaf, sauteed green beans. Oh, we about to eat, y'all. All right, the ingredients are, we have a New York strip, we have white rice, parboiled rice, we have some water, we have green beans, diced peppers and onions, chopped garlic, salt, pepper, canola oil. First thing about cooking that New York strip, you want to make sure you pull it out the refrigerator or wherever you're keeping it about 20 minutes. That'll get room temperature. All right, that is going to ensure that you have even cooking. Once we do that, we're going to take salt and pepper. I like just to keep it simple. I like to just keep it simple with some salt, pepper. You know, every now and then I throw a little bit of garlic, but I'm gonna throw the garlic in a little bit later. You know, if I was making this at home, you definitely want to make sure you got your fresh garlic and your butter and your thyme and all that kind of good stuff that you're gonna base the steak in. You know, but for right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna just make a basic, great tasting steak. All right, so we got that going. You want to make sure that you put enough seasoning all over the steak. You just don't eat the top, you just don't eat the bottom. You want to make sure that you season that steak. All right, that's what you want to make sure. Okay, from here, add your oil to the pan. I personally like to cook my steaks at home in my cast iron pans. All right, my cast iron, let me tell you something about my cast iron pans. I can scramble eggs, make an omelet, you name it. In my cast iron pans, I mean, them things are like glass, all right? Cast iron, to me, is always the best way to cook a steak. But for today, we're gonna go with this pan right here. It's a heavy bottom pan, and that's what you wanna make sure you have, all right? Make sure you get that nice sear on that steak. We're gonna take our steak. Oh yeah, you hear it. You hear it. That is goodness going right there. That is goodness. All right, we're gonna let this steak cook for about 3 to 4 minutes per side. At this point, you wanna make sure you got that oven piping hot. You want your oven around about, you know, the 400, 425 degree mark, because you're gonna take this steak and you're gonna throw it inside there. All right, you're gonna let it just finish just getting all that goodness in it. Right now, what we're doing is we're putting a nice crust on the bottom of this steak. You don't want to be one of them people that when you put a steak in the pan, you go to flipping it around, you go to poking it with a knife or thing. No, leave the steak alone. Leave the steak alone. Let the steak do what the steak do. All right? It is going to be phenomenal. Trust me, take my word for it. Okay? Some people, like I said, once we flip it over, some people want to put the butter in, the fresh herbs, and all that kind of goodness. Hey, if that's what you want to do, knock yourself silly. But like I said, today, we're just gonna make a basic New York strip. All right, after about 3 or 4 minutes, you wanna take this steak. Oh, look at there, look at there. Got that nice crust on it. That's what you're looking for. That right there is what you're looking for. That is gonna be a phenomenal steak. You got it now with that crust on it, those flavors are gonna get locked in, those juices are gonna get locked in. It's gonna taste phenomenal. Take my word for it. All right, now that we got our steak in the oven, it's ready to do its thing, we're moving on. All right, now we're gonna focus on our rice pilaf, okay? And I'm gonna tell you something. I learned this recipe many moons ago, all right, in culinary school, okay? So, one of the things I like to do is go ahead on and start out with my canola oil. Get that going, hot pan. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna throw in our peppers and onions. I love peppers and onions in my rice pilaf. Get them going. Like I said, you just wanna sweat them, get them going good in that oil. Open them up a little bit, get those flavors start coming out of those peppers and onions. And of course, like I told you, you know me, I love my garlic. Throw my garlic in. Now here is where things get a little dicey for some people. All right, most folks throw the rice in, throw some boiling water on top of it, call it a day. Not with rice pilaf. You actually want to saute your rice. You want to saute that rice just until the point where it's translucent. All right, and you'll know when it's at that point because the rice, believe it or not, will have a slightly nutty smell to it. All right, one of the best smells going when you're sauteing your rice. Now at this point, you know, you got the rice going, peppers and onions going, garlic going. We're just having a ball in this pan, okay? But now we gotta add our water in. Now, I said water. If you wanna use chicken stock, use it. You wanna use beef stock, use the vegetable stock, use the shrimp stock, whatever you choose. You wanna put some kind of flavor in that rice, then you definitely wanna go ahead and add some kind of stock to it. All right, but again, we're just gonna make a basic rice pilaf. All right, so now we have our sauteed rice. Gonna add our liquid. That's what you want right there. That's what you want. You want that sizzle going. You want that steam start up. All right. Now, if you're gonna cook 1 cup of raw rice, you want 2 cups of liquid. All right. That's going to ensure that you get some nice fluffy rice. Okay, we got what's going on here. All right, now that we got our liquid in the pan, you want to go ahead and bring that liquid back up to a boil. All right, once that liquid comes to a boil in that rice, then you want to take a lid, put a lid over the top of this, or if you don't have a lid, you know what, it's okay. Use foil. Take some foil, put some foil over the top, crimp the sides up because you want to keep that steam in. You don't want steam going all over the place. You want to put that foil over the top of this, crimp it all the way around. Then you want to take it, pop it in the oven for about 22-23 minutes. That's all it takes. All right, I know a lot of people cook it on the stove at home. Like I said, they never put rice in the stove. I'm telling you, take it, lid it, pop it in the oven. You are gonna have phenomenal rice pilaf. All right, now that we've taken our rice out the oven, you wanna go ahead and give it a nice little fluff like that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's good eats right there, people. That is it right there. This rice is cooked all the way through. This is classic rice pilaf. All right? I'm gonna tell you, we are putting this meal together and it is great. All right, now steak is going, rice is done. Let's knock out these green beans. All right, gonna take our canola oil, put a little bit of canola oil in the pan, go ahead and get that hot. Once I got the canola oil in the pan, what I normally do at home is I go ahead and I blanch my green beans. Okay? Sometimes when you're cooking green beans from a raw state, they take, you know, a lot of people don't know the proper method to do it. So, you know, they wind up burning them, or they wind up being dark on the outside, raw on the inside. Green beans could just be a complete mess. All right? But if you blanch them, what does blanching mean? Blanching is when you take something, you put it in boiling water, and then once you cook it for a little bit, you pull it out of there, you throw it in some ice water, you shock it to stop the cooking process. All right? Once you do that with these green beans, now they're already cold. You could take them, put them in a hot pan, some garlic, whatever you're gonna put in it, saute them up, you're ready to rock and roll. You can actually do that a few hours ahead of time. All right, here we go. You're gonna throw our garlic in the pan first. Right behind the garlic, those blanched green beans I was telling you about. Take those, throw them in. At this point, if you want to take some peppers and onions, you can throw them in there. Because right now, at this point, all we're pretty much doing now just heating them back up because we've already cooked them when we blanched them. All right, at this point, we're just going through and just heating them back up, getting them exactly where we want them. All right, and also too, you want your green beans green. A lot of people cook green beans till they gray, they overcook. It's just a slimy, I don't know. All right, but you want your green beans actually green. Okay, and these green beans are done, folks. We are there. From here, we're gonna take a little bit of salt and pepper. Throw a little salt and pepper on top of them. Again, when I'm home, I like to just take mine and put a little lemon juice on them, a little lemon zest, a little lemon juice, and we are in business. Now we have the complete meal. We have our New York strip, we have our rice pilaf, our sauteed green beans. The New York strip is cooked to a nice medium. Now, one thing about a steak, you don't want to go cutting into it as soon as you put it off the heat. That's not what you want to do. You want to let it rest, all right? Because the moment you take it off that heat and you hit it with that knife, everything that you worked so hard for, building that crust and all those different flavors going on, is going to just spread all over the plate. And then you're sitting there, you're using all the juices as a dipping sauce. That's not what you want to do, all right? You want to let that steak rest, okay, for about 10 minutes, let it rest. Then you go ahead and you cut into it and you have a beautiful, beautiful steak. Okay, but now this is a meal. This is definitely a great meal that you will be proud to serve to anyone. I thank you for watching. My name is Torrian Ferguson. You are watching THTeaches, and I will see you next time.
Yeah.